Check it out. New haircut. What do we think? I like it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you're coming from. Thanks for joining. Back with episode number 5 of my YouTube channel, Rewarding Conversations. So if this is your first time here, thanks for coming. If you're a returner, thanks for coming back. Much appreciated. I've been really blown away by all of the conversations that I've been having with people. People have been reaching out through my Instagram account, which is rewarding_conversations. And I've been having great conversations with you guys. Some people have been commenting below, which is awesome. And yeah, the conversations have been awesome overall. People have been commenting about their thoughts, questions, what's going on in the world, what's going on in their lives. And that's exactly what I want. I want to hear from you guys and just getting your take on everything. So I have some really exciting things coming up. I'm going to be doing some crossovers, which is going to be really fun. I'm going to be working with a podcast coming up and with another YouTube channel. So I'm really, really excited about that. And I will let you guys know about the details coming up. So for this episode, I wanted to talk about a couple fun things, a couple upbeat things, a couple things that I'm enjoying right now and that maybe you could enjoy. So first off, a bunch of people reached out to me about different streaming services. What are their favorite streaming services? What are my favorite streaming services? And I definitely have ones that I'm partial to, but there's so many out there that's really cool, is kind of regardless of which one you have or which one you're interested in, you're probably finding some pretty good stuff out there. So for a really long time, I was super devoted to Netflix. I started watching Netflix way back in the day when it was just, you get that DVD in the mail. You guys remember that? How cool was that? Do you remember some of the earliest ones that you got if you were on that train of getting Netflix back when they sent the DVD in the mail? What were some of the early DVDs that you watched, some of the early things that you ordered when you added to your queue? I remember my list was like a mile long, and I said I'm never going to get through any of these, but of course I got through them all eventually. But right now, obviously, Netflix is huge, just gets bigger and bigger, and they just keep producing amazing content. So I wanted to go over some of my favorite films currently on Netflix. So some of these are current, some of these are films that came out this year, and then some of them are ones that I just really like and that I enjoy, and they've been out for a while. So kind of start with one of my favorite movies this year, which was called I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Really, really amazing film. Super weird. If you don't like weird movies, do not watch this film because it's all over the place and it's often very confusing, but it's so exciting and I really, really enjoyed it. Da 5 Bloods was incredible. Delroy Lindo gives the performance of his career, in my opinion, and I really hope he's nominated for an Oscar. A couple other films that I loved was Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which Chadwick Boseman was incredible in, Viola Davis was great in, and it was just a really interesting story. Marriage Story, that was a film that came out previous year, but Adam Driver at the top of his game, Scarlett Johansson, Noah Baumbach directed. Fantastic film, really gets at the heart of relationships, struggles, things falling apart, and how to kind of build them back up again. The King is a really fantastic film, wonderfully acted by Timothée Chalamet. He's one of my favorite young actors. It seems weird to say young because he's done so many films and he's been around for a while, but he's still relatively really young. So that's a great vehicle for him if you want to check that out. It's also a historic piece if you're into kind of history. And I'll round it out with If Anything Happens, I Love You. Now, if you're somebody who likes to punish themselves by watching a film that they know will make them cry, watch this movie. It's a short film. It's a silent film. It's only 5-10 minutes long, something like that. But it was devastating. I got very emotional. I was all wrapped up in my emotions watching this. So it's a really tough subject, but an incredible film overall. And then another amazing streaming service that goes right there with Netflix for me is Amazon. I love Amazon. So my top recommendation for Amazon is a film called The Vast of Night. It was actually probably either my favorite or second favorite film this year. The Vast of Night, it's a really quick film. It's filmed in real time. It's strange, it's weird, and it has an ending that was my absolute favorite. Another phenomenal film on Amazon right now is called We Need to Talk About Kevin. Once again, a devastating topic, but the best acting I've ever seen from Tilda Swinton, and that says a lot because she's had an incredible career. A few others that I really liked were called Burnt, which is with Bradley Cooper. It's a film about cooking. I love watching movies that deal with cooking. Another one is Chef. I love Chef with Jon Favreau. If you like to watch movies about people cooking food and just it looking incredible, Burnt and Chef are two really good recommendations. Wind River is so good with Elizabeth Olsen and Jeremy Renner. It's kind of a mystery thriller type movie that takes place in a very kind of strange area that's foreign to many of us. And then rounding out Amazon right now, I just watched Big Eyes again the other day with Amy Adams and Christoph Waltz. Such a great film, true story, and you almost can't believe that it happened. And then kind of keeping with that whole true story method is The Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch. That movie came out years ago, probably like 5-6 years ago now, but it's one of the most heartbreaking true stories ever. It's an incredible film. If you haven't seen it, please watch it because it's so important for history, and it's just beautifully acted by Benedict Cumberbatch as well. And then for my streaming services, rounding out with Hulu. Now, Hulu is definitely my third favorite. I barely watch Hulu, but I watch it for very specific reasons. Number one this year was Nomadland, which probably tied The Vast of Night for my favorite movie. So Nomadland with Frances McDormand is incredible. It's beautifully directed by Chloe Zhao. So if you haven't seen that and you have Hulu, check out Nomadland. Other great movies streaming right now on Hulu are Palm Springs, hilarious, so much fun, just a great adventure. Ammonite is really great with Kate Winslet and Saoirse Ronan. Saoirse Ronan is my absolute favorite young actor right now. I just think that she's kind of working on a different level, and it's great to see her with Kate Winslet. The United States versus Billie Holiday is such a good movie. It's historically accurate, it's intense, it's sad, and it's just, some parts are tough to get through, but it's a really great film. And then rounding out my favorite movies on Hulu with Parasite. Now, Parasite is one of the most perfect films ever made, in my opinion. There is not a single wasted second of screen time. The dialogue is perfect. The acting is perfect. It is just start to finish an almost flawless film. So those are my favorite streaming services and some of my favorite movies on those services. What do you guys think? What are your favorite services? What are your favorite movies and things that you're watching right now? Comment and let me know. And then getting into my second topic in this video, once again, keeping it light and fun. And speaking of keeping it light and fun, pun intended, I guess, air fryer recipes. I actually had a bunch of people talking to me about what their favorite air fryer and Instant Pot recipes are. So in another video, I'm going to talk about my favorite ones. So here's a little secret about me. I love to cook. I love to cook, which works out beautifully because my wife does not like to cook. So right now we're getting our kitchen redone, so air fryer is life. So let's keep it simple in this first video. Start with chicken tenders. Take some chicken tenders, put them in some egg that's battered up, throw them in some breadcrumbs, throw them in that pan, put it in at 400 degrees for about 5 or 6 minutes, and you have dinner. It's so simple, they're so delicious, it's so easy. But just number one, make sure you spray the bottom of the pan of the air fryer. If you don't, it's not going to be so much fun. Next recipe, if you want to keep it a little bit more healthy, salmon. So take either one fillet of salmon or a couple fillets of salmon, and I like to marinate it in a glaze that I make of soy, brown sugar, mustard, salt, and pepper. Pretty simple, but let that really marinate for a while. Then throw it in the air fryer at 400 degrees for about 6 to 8 minutes. Kind of check it as you go, and you're gonna have beautifully air fried salmon. Last but not least, tater tots. I mean, who could argue? Tater tots is one of the absolute greatest snacks ever, and this one is the most simple. Now, obviously, still spray the bottom along with the salmon. Make sure to spray the bottom of the pan. Throw those tater tots in the basket, 400 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes. Shake it up a few times. So simple, so easy, and you have a quick, amazing snack. And cleanup takes 0 time. So that's everything I got right now, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this episode was kind of fun and lighthearted. I wanted to keep it easy this time, not get into so many intense, crazy topics. Might save that for another one. But I am going to be having some updates about the Academy Award nominations, my thoughts, some Instant Pot recipes coming up. Going to be talking about my favorite shows on streaming services. Do you have favorite air fryer recipes, Instant Pot recipes, your favorite streaming services, your favorite shows and movies? I want to hear what you guys like. So make sure to stay tuned. I'm going to be talking about the partnerships I'm going to be doing with a podcast and a YouTube channel that I'm super excited for. But as always, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you're coming from. I thank you for joining, and I will catch you in the next video.